When it comes to hockey, I know I made a couple in the Red Wings. I made a couple of statements yesterday, but people don't want to hear about hockey in the Red Wings from old flannel Sam. They want to hear it from a true hockey elite, former four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. And if you want, I can set it up by repeating what I said yesterday, and I'll do it very briefly.
Well, I'm gonna ask Spenny this.
Okay.
All right, Spenny, should I give my take and then we talk about what Sam has?
I think so, because that will.
Because then I won't start out yelling.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
It's plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here on March the 12th, 2024. All you have to do is go back to training camp. And if I were to ask you now, and this goes to everybody in the chat thread, everybody listening out there, everybody in here, KG, Spenny, Sam, if you were sitting at 72 points with 18 games left in the last wild card spot, controlling your destiny to make the playoffs, would you have taken it right now? The answer is yes. You don't need to answer it for me. The answer is yes. So if you want to break down this last 5-game losing streak or whatever, really, right, you let one get away against the Islanders, who aren't going to quit. Fortunately, they lost last night, which everybody in the Eastern Conference lost last night. Bottom line, it's the biggest week of hockey right now to start your engines again. Yes, is there something with the garbage pail kids, as far as we can't win with the new emblem, but let's throw that out the window. You control your destiny on a week, Spenny, that you play the bottom teams. Now, if I'm going to look back going into these games, you know what we should have? We should have 74 points. Mm-hmm. Saying one of those 5, the Arizona game, that is the blasphemy.
Yes.
Right? That cannot happen. But where you sit right now against the teams that you're playing, the home and away schedule, you control your destiny. Now, adversity, your captain hasn't been in there, but holy cow, boys, let's grab yourself by the junk and go out there and do it. Right? For whatever reason. I don't need excuses. I don't need anything else. You control your own destiny. That's why you've played so well earlier in the season to bank these points. Do I believe Philly can maintain this? No, I think they're the team that's going to go out. I think that the Islanders have more of a chance. But again, you're in 8th. You have a 3-point cushion. You're tied with the other teams. Let's go win hockey games.
Yeah!
18 What'd I say? 72 points, the magic number, right, is 96. It might be 94. That means 11 or 12 of these next 18 games you can win. Do you believe that this team can win 11 or 12 of the 18 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Hell
of course
yeah.
they can.
Now, here's the other thing for everybody else. Because the trade deadline came and went, and you're all going to be whining. Did you not listen to what Mr. Steve Yzerman said in his press conference? Because what do I implore always? If it's hashtag #WiserPlay 1919, at least listen to what the man has to say. And he told you that for any deal to be made out there, they felt that what they had inside the organization was better. Enough said. He's going to give you everything you want, not when you want it, unfortunately, or when I want it. Right? And it's building. What did you learn, Spenny? What did you learn, KG and Sam? I don't know if you were watching, but you might have learned something. You're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you're better, and you are a playoff hockey team, right? Now you got to go out and prove it. Now, have we all not done things that, we do a little bit different? But gosh darn it, when you control your destiny, we talking about the maturity. How many times did I say that word? Well, you know what? This is when the maturity and when the men step to the table. This is a huge week, right? I expect 3 wins, but I'll be happy with 2-0-1 because we keep pace. So let's buckle in, get those flags out, because you don't just see your Red Wing thing. You don't pull the flag out, put it back down, and whine about the flag, stuff like that. If you pull it out, you better use it, just like something else.
Oh.
I was talking guns.
Yeah. Of course you were.
But that's pretty much where I'm at with that. Yes. Does it suck? Was I disappointed? stuff like this, absolutely. But at the end of the day, you control your own destiny. And if this puts anybody else at ease, if they do not get it done in this next week, then you are in trouble. But I don't know. I'm pretty good with my back against the wall.
Hey,
I think these guys are going to be too.
it sounds like part one of what I said yesterday, me and D-Mac might actually be in lockstep with. Probably not part two, but we'll get to that in a second. Spenny, I want to hear your thoughts on what D-Mac just said as well.
Yeah, I'm with D-Mac. You know, I said it that it's not like they're out of the playoffs. Red Wings fans acted like it's the end of the world. It's over. Oh, crap it in. We're going to cry and bitch and moan. You still got 3 games here, 2 against Buffalo, 1 against the Yotes. You got to win all 3 of them and get those points. And then you're right back in the swing of things. You control your own destiny, so it's on you. If you want to make the playoffs, if you intend to make the playoffs, it's on you to go out there, win games, and get points. And yeah, it sucks not having Larkin, but the other guys got to step up. I'm with D-Mac. It is inexcusable to lose 4-0 to the Coyotes. You cannot do that. You cannot allow that to happen. But other than that, the games you look at, they're playing tough teams. They're playing guys who have Stanley Cup aspirations. Like when Stone comes back for the Golden Knights, they have one of the best rosters in the NHL. So it's not like you were losing cupcakes, except for the Yotes.
Here's what you learned also. The big dogs, the teams that are in the conversation and high on the board, the odds to win the Stanley Cup sure should take you seriously as a real team. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the Colorados and the Floridas and the way that they play, because those were playoff mentality hockey games that the best in the league rose to the challenge. Now you got to rise to because you're the best out of these next few games, at least the next 3. So I'll be in Battle Creek tonight at the One Nation Tap and Table for the viewing party. If you're in the area, 6:30, pop in. But we're going to cheer these guys on. Now's the time. I mean, listen, it's like golf. You know, you get strokes, you know, when you're not that good. Well, you used them all up, boys. You've used up all your strokes. Now you got to play.
Yeah.
And we want the smoke.
Yeah, we do.
That's, hey.
Hell yeah,
I like
Mo, Teasy.
You know, D-Mac,
Dawkins, let's go.
Of all the things you said, one thing actually stuck out to me, where you actually made me think a little bit, because contrary to popular belief, I actually can be swayed, and I do let other people, at least, like, I do listen, I do learn from other folks. You mentioned something about how if you would have known at this point in the season that they'd have 72 points, that they would be in control of their destiny for a wild card spot, I would have taken it. We all would have taken it. Those are the type of arguments that I like to use from time to time, because it's true. It's just the way that just a few games ago it was looking like the Red Wings were just completely comfortable. We were even talking about maybe they'll run down Toronto, which isn't going to happen anymore. And now they've let the Islanders completely close the gap to now where they're tied.
That's where you're wrong. They haven't let the Islanders close the gap. The Islanders have been coming hard and playing hard, and you haven't taken care of business, right, Sam? So yes, right now, the way the last 5 games, but you're gonna hang that on the season. No. That's you know what? But you bring up a great point, because your fandom in that regard is like a lot of other people's. What have you done for me lately? Sure. But for the ones that are diehard, that are in for the long haul and stuff like this, it's a building process. And whatever goes on here, the best part is you see it's levels, right? And you're still another level away, but that's why it's so imperative to be able to make the playoffs and show that maturity. Yes, everybody's entitled to say, you know what's going on these last few games, but it's not as bad as you think, right? You lost one really bad game that you can never lose, that you can absolutely, and that's the Arizona one. But did you so we're sitting here with 74 points and you won that Arizona game. Is that change your demeanor?
I'm feeling a little bit better, because Spenny was talking about Arizona, and I think he was right as a baked-in win. Obviously, it wasn't. They beat us 4-0, but we have a chance to give them their comeuppance when they come to LCA on Thursday, March 14th. My thing is that I believe that it's playoffs or bust. And they do have a fantastic opportunity right in front of them. 4 out of their next 6 at home. They have a road game at Buffalo. They play Buffalo twice. They play the Islanders again, which that would be a very, very important game for them to win, obviously. They have a 6-game stretch where I'm looking at, you got to get at least 9 points. And if they do that, if they make the playoffs, if they turn this around, everything I said yesterday is moot. My thing is more that if the Red Wings don't make the playoffs, I'm gonna
tell me what you're gonna do. You're gonna fire everybody?
Not gonna fire everybody. I think that's where you can question Steve Yzerman a little bit. If they don't make the playoffs, that's just not further proof of why he's a genius. It would have been a failure to me, especially given how it would probably require a season tailspin, which is happening right now.
What the fuck? Does this
happening.
make sense? Does this make sense at all? That the genius is building it his way? Right? So he's not, doesn't, right? The fact that you're on such a time schedule to whatever else, not just the progress. Yeah, it'll be a disappointment, but you start talking stupid like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no credibility to whatever else. There's levels to this thing, and there's reason. And yes, you could even say, up to your point, yes, would it be a failure? Would there different questions be made? But what do we know about Steve Yzerman? You think he's going to sit there and take not making the playoffs with a grain of salt? No. Who the fuck do you think you're talking about here?
Let him
so
cook.
Fucking grow the fuck up. Let the man do what he's going to do, because the worst case scenario, he's the first one to walk in there with his samurai sword and start cutting heads off. He wouldn't be, do you know, he'd be the most upset.
Yeah.
He would be the most, but again, Sam, I digress. Because Steve Yzerman told you at the beginning of the year this wasn't a playoff team. Do you remember? Pull that clip up.
Yeah, but like, why?
Yeah,
why are we just okay with that in year 5? It's just
okay.
You said it's not a
I got a great answer. No, it's not year 5. It's actually year 2 or 3. Why? Because the salary cap is like a credit card. And for everybody out there who doesn't understand this analogy, look like you maxed out your credit cards, right? So instead of paying it off each month and still having that interest, Steve Yzerman spent 2 years paying down the principal, paying everything else. So you know what? Say it was $10,000, Sam. So you know what happens when you pay off the $10,000 card? They give you $25,000. Right? So the fact is that why does Steve Yzerman? Because he's got a plan. And you wanted to take the 30,000-foot view of everything else. You got to see the way that they're moving. Yes, is it disappointing? Yes, would you have to make decisions? But this isn't a final product yet. And the fact there was nobody out there to save you, to the Messiah, to whatever else, to win this. He told you that, you know what, it's the youth in our organization that we believe in more. Now, if these guys that are there right now with the most 10 goal scorers in the league, that the balance, show me. Fucking come out and show me. And you could be fucking disappointed, but be disappointed at the fucking team, not at the fucking GM, because he's put everything in the position to get him there and not step back like a lot of other organizations do and hinder the progress of moving forward. That's the reason. That's why he gets carte blanche. You want to question coaching? You want to question players? Did they step up? Did they play? You want to question goaltending, defensemen, right? The one question you can ask, if it doesn't work out, should he have brought Edvinsson up earlier? Should he have brought these guys? Yes, you can ask questions when it doesn't work out. But until it doesn't work out, shut the fuck up.
I just need you to trust me.
All right.
That's it.
You know what?
And you can come at me with every friggin' question you want if they don't make the friggin' playoffs and everything else. But again, it's not Steve Yzerman. He got you to Brinkett. He got you Kane, right? He went out and he got Comfort. He building this team. He re-signed. Right? You see the writing on the wall. That's it. Don't bail out now. And you know why I know this, and maybe it's unfair. Because you know how hard it was for us, and you know how everybody quit on us to whatever, but we didn't quit on ourselves because of friggin' 93, 95, 96, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I know, if that makes sense, that he won't be denied. And maybe this not making the playoffs, if that's what happens, is them getting knocked down the hill. But they're going to come back.
Everything's going to be fine.
That's why.
No,
and when we win this fucking cup in 4 or 5 years, bro, I'll let you drink out of it. But you know what? I'm going to be fucking in your ear the whole fucking time. Right. And you better get down and fucking praise Steve Yzerman.
Oh, dude, I will. And I will apologize. And like I said, everything that I said can be moot, at least to me, if they make the playoffs and they have a great opportunity in front of them. And I just want to say this as well. You're right. I said yesterday as well that you can't let the Larkin injury, which does hurt, he's your 1C, that sucks. You can't let it like tailspin your season to this degree because you now still have 11 guys who have 10 goals.
And,
you know.
DNC ENT says if Brad Holmes came out year 3 and said, "Yeah, we aren't a playoff team," we would be upset. It's okay to question him. Hockey's different than football, man.
Yeah,
it's way different.
And you know what? The glaze on Steve Eisman. I'm just telling you know what? You guys just don't understand of what you're dealing with to what he's been. And what do you want? Who else do you want doing it? Who's a better GM in the league that you want there making these calls? And at Brad Holmes. And who the hell? You know what? Because that's where Spenny, where I'm different. Because if you tell me the game plan that we're not there yet, but we're working towards there and we're adding things, then I'm for it. Why? Because it took a while that I understand in order to win, it took building. And it just doesn't happen overnight.
Like, and it's hockey's extremely different from football and the NBA. These guys take time to mature before you can bring them up. It's very, very rare in hockey, unless you're the #1 overall pick or a Connor Bedard or a Connor McDavid, that you come up to the NHL that year and have this huge impact. We got lucky with Mo Sider being one of those guys, and Lucas Raymond was forced on the team because of injuries his rookie year. In hockey, it takes a year or 2 or 3 to develop into an NHL player.
No, and for the record, I understand that. My thing is more, that's why I'm saying in year 5, which if you want to call year 3 because he had to clean up those terrible books, which is true, fine. I'm not saying be a cup contender. I'm not even saying score a goal in the playoffs, let alone win a game. I'm just saying make it. That's all. Make the playoffs, and then you have a rousingly successful season. But if you don't, I think it'll be a disappointment. And then I think that Steve Yzerman's approval rating, if you want to question him a little bit, I don't think that that's the most blasphemer thing in the world. That's all I'm saying. Well, apparently Stephen A. Smith disagrees, but still. But
who?
Stephen A. Smith.
Who's he? Is he a hockey guy?
No, he is not.
Oh, that's why I didn't recognize. Would he play? Steve Smith for the Edmonton Oilers, #5 back in the day with Gretzky.
It was the drop. It was the drop. That is blasphemous. That's from Stephen A. Smith. That's why. That's where I said that. Yes.
Hey, Sam, will it be disappointing?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because you've been controlling your destiny for so long, and obviously the maturity you haven't had.
Well,
I just think that the fact that like this is. Put up, shut up. You're right. This is a time. But again, is that Steve Yzerman's fault? I think he's giving you put it together. The questions can be, okay, should you brought up this guy earlier? Should you got? But no, I trust in him.